Hi everyone, today is October 5th, 2019, and if you've watched my channel for some time, you might realize that last year around this time, I got into a serious depression where I wrote quite a number of computer games, and I went out to Ellensburg where the skies are a lot darker, and I went stargazing almost a few times a week at least, even though a lot of times I had to rush back to get to work the next morning, but I was so out of it, and now I look back and it's kind of funny. Today the weather was very similar to the time when I felt this way, so it brought back a lot of interesting memories. And I had two events that happened around this time last year that caused me to feel this way. And both of these events revolve around how fragile life is. I had a friend of mine that I've known since kindergarten. He passed away. He was 32 years old. And from talking to some of our classmates, I discovered he had some drug problems. And actually, I knew him after he had the drug problems, but before he passed away. And I discovered that he had started using painkillers because he had a little accident while playing basketball and he had hurt himself. It just makes me realize that it only takes one basketball mishap to turn. He was doing very well in his life. I didn't know him to have relationship problems. I didn't know him to have career problems or anything. And just one little game of basketball can lead somebody to a spiral that ends in death. And it just makes you realize how fragile life is. And then I had an ex-girlfriend, granted she was a lot older than me, who was going through menopause. And it just goes to show that our body systems don't last forever. And it just reminds me that life is constantly in motion, and that what we take for granted today may not be there tomorrow. And so I went on a crazy binge, just writing computer games, viewing the night sky, and just trying to frantically check off every item on my bucket list. I realized it was the wrong approach, and I'm kind of taking this opportunity to apologize, because I'm sure these two people didn't want me to take the lesson that way, although one of them isn't around to watch the videos. But I do want to apologize that I took the lesson the wrong way. But life is fragile, but you don't have to force everything down just because it is.